place for living. And at First International Bank and Trust, we're all about living, helping your dreams come true. Because we're not just in the banking business. We're in the first home business, the community sponsorship business, the how do I make this happen business, making your banking life easy so you can focus on what matters most. First International Bank and Trust. Live first.
A family farm is, well, different. The cab of a tractor is the CEO's office. Board meetings are held on the bed of Grandpa's pickup. And a conference call is a holler across the yard to hurry your chores, kids, there's homework to be done. A family farm is about family pride as much as profit. Farmers Union Insurance believes this way of life is worth protecting because this isn't just where we work, it's also our family's home. Farmers Union Insurance, simply different.
Good evening, Tauros fans. Welcome to another edition of Tauros Weekly. I'm your host, Peter Theodos. Ken Oda unfortunately had to take a personal day and isn't available for the show tonight. But joining me instead is the Tauros head coach in his first season at the helm of the Tauros. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tauros head coach, Shane Wagner.
Hey, Pete. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Shane, the boys are back in town, and you've had a few practices, a few scrimmages to start watching them. What are your thoughts on the roster so far?
We're looking good. I've been really impressed with our guys. Our veterans coming back have been really, set the tone, I think, for all the new guys. And we even got a lot of guys that have heavy experience in the league. I've been really impressed with everyone top to bottom. We got quite a bit of guys in camp, but overall, the guys are competing hard, and every day, we have some guys that haven't hit the ice as much as they would like, but they've been impressing me.
You mentioned not hitting the ice as much. It was kind of hard for the Canadians. Once they got into town, they couldn't do anything. They had to quarantine for 2 weeks. How's been the process for them, and have you noticed any rust at the beginning? And now that they're starting to get back on the ice, have you noticed any less rust?
Yeah, I would say at the beginning, we've been scrimmaging every day for an hour in the afternoon. Day one, you're kind of questioning some things, and then day two is like, oh my God. And now day three of their scrimmaging, I'm starting to see a couple guys look like whole new hockey players, but I can't imagine what it's like to be a player. Every time I talk to them over the summer, as a junior player, you spend your time focusing on hockey, and now these poor kids, they had to sit in a house for 14 days and not touch the ice. So, but no, I've been really impressed with how they've adapted and came back. And every day I'm starting to see guys take bigger and bigger steps.
Are there any specific players, whether it's a returner or a or a new first year, on the team that has kind of caught your eye a little bit that you didn't think would?
We've had a few, and we were talking about this today, Waz and I, and it's sometimes a little too early to say, this kid's legit and he's going to be one of our top guys, or this kid's not there yet. I think we're just going to have to play it out here. We got those big exhibition games coming up, and I think after that, it's kind of when we see maybe some guys kind of separate from the pack a little bit. But as now, it's just been a good camp, and I feel we got a lot of good guys kind of pushing for those spots.
You mentioned Waz, your assistant head coach, your assistant coach, Wyatt Waslinchuk. Both of you in first years, your first year here and first head coaching job, his first full-time assistant here with the Tauros. How has that relationship been, and how is it slowly improving as you continue to watch the players?
Yeah, it's been good. Waz and I have gotten along great for the last 3 to 4 years, and it was a no-brainer when I got the job. That was my first call, and he jumped all over it. He's great with the guys. I think he can kind of get the inside and see what they're feeling, and he's good, and he kind of adds a different insight for myself, and but no, Waz has been great. He gets hockey. He knows what works in this league, and that's what I think is kind of the most important thing. Is you can see a player, but our division's tough. We need players that can play in our division, and I think Wyatt has a good eye for that, and I think he has a good way of communicating with the players, and he's also a phenomenal goalie coach, so that's going to be huge.
You mentioned you guys have been scrimmaging pretty much every day, sometimes twice a day. You've been running 2-a-days all week. How do you think the players are responding to being able to finally hit, as funny as it may sound, being able to hit each other? I mean, you can do drills and stuff kind of, but just going in and getting hit, whether it's going up on the boards or going up and hitting someone against the boards, how important do you think that is for the players?
Yeah, I think it's been huge, and we've been kind of working ourselves into it. One guy's got to get ready, and I think a couple of the returners in the first few scrimmages laid a couple good hits on guys, and it probably caught a few off guard. But that's why we kind of want to slowly get into this so no one gets hurt. But we got to realize Saturday we're going to face 22 players that are trying to make Aberdeen's team, and they're going to run our guys hard. So they're slowly getting back into it, and the physicality's picking up. But yeah, I was glad to see a lot of our veterans and some of the guys that played in the league. They're bringing that presence to know that junior hockey's a big game.
I hate to look ahead too much, obviously, with the season just now starting. But one of the big things that you do through the season is bring players in, let them practice with the team. AP a few guys, let them play a couple of games with the team just to kind of get a sense of what they're like and whether or not you want to sign them to a tender or potentially draft them. But with the league protocols and the Toro protocols, that's really going to kind of limit that. So how hard do you think it's going to be, and how do you think it's going to change the way that you coach as well as recruit players in?
Yeah, the league's kind of expanded our rosters, I believe, just a little bit. But, that was always a big selling point. I think for myself, coming to Minot, it was like you had to get here to see it. And when I'd go home as assistant coach, I was like, just get out to Minot, see the rink, see the community. And that was a big selling point, just getting out here. And the nice thing is, I feel over the last 10 years, the foundation's been set, and the hockey community is a small world, and people know what we have here, and they know the expectations, they know what they get. So we'll still have the reputation, so we're able to tell players about our program, and they know, they've seen it. But it was always nice, like when kids usually came here, they fell in love with it, and they're ready to go. And it's also nice to see how they do with our guys, and how they compete at this level. It's easy to see a guy dominate at maybe high school or U18, but to translate it to junior is a different altogether.
Also with these protocols, practices and game days are completely different. Right now, the boys are in 2 different locker rooms. You have it split up, forwards. I do believe it's forwards and defensemen.
Yep.
In 2 different locker rooms. So obviously that's completely different what it's been like in years past. Everyone's wearing masks, walking around the rink wearing a mask. You're required to wear a mask on the bench during game days. So how do you think all of these protocols are going to affect the way a player prepares for a game? Because they've been in the same routine for years. Or they're forming the routines that they want to do. Yeah. And the returners have their routines from last year. How do you think those protocols are going to kind of change their routines?
Hopefully not too much, And I think back to when I was a player, a lot of it just stemmed from myself, just being, I'd like to get my own time away from the guys and just get mentally focused. Hopefully they can find a way around it. These kids are resilient, and they will. I would say the biggest thing is, we got the 2 locker rooms, and now this time of year, I'd like to focus on my guys becoming a good unit and team building and all that stuff. And it's tricky, you want to keep them distance. You don't want, if a guy gets it, to pass it on to everyone. It could happen, but but you want to keep their distance while trying to glue them together. So I don't know how it will affect them. We've kind of spread out. We don't require our guys to be to the rink so early because we don't want them hanging around the locker room. But the kids are good, and they're going to find ways to do it, and they're going to be ready to play. I know they've been chomping at the bit, so I don't think them being ready to go is going to be any issue.
There's a lot of excitement this year, your first year, but also it's the 10th year. As you mentioned, this program's built a lot. And one of those things that we're celebrating this year and kind of seeing what's been built is the alumni charity game on September 26th. What's it going to be like for you seeing some of the alum that you've coached here in the past, but also seeing some of the alum that have played before you got here and that helped build the foundation of this team?
Yeah, I'm excited to see a lot of the players that I was privileged to be on the bench with, and I hope more come. But at the end of my first year, it was really great to see some of the guys come back to camp, and I love seeing the guys that age out that just come into training camp to say hi, and they mean a lot to me. You really kind of build that family chemistry here. So I'm excited and to see some of the players from the past that I know Marty's talked about, Wyatt's talked about, that Mr. Porter's talked about. Just to see them in action and to see them get along with the other guys, their old billets and everything. I'm excited to see that, and it just shows the community here in Minot.
One of those former Toro players, Jaden Martin, checking in saying, heck yeah, I know he's excited. We had him on Toros Weekly previously, so he's excited. Also, Nana's checking in. Helen's on saying hello, Peter. Sorry, Wags, not to you. But we'll just keep moving on here with Toros Weekly. You had to move your family here to Minot,
Yep.
at least temporarily. How's that transition been for them and moving forward?
It's been good. I owe a lot to my wife, who's fantastic. She takes care of our all three of them, and fourth if you include our dog. But the move was great. I'm excited to have them here and be a part of everything. The last 3 years it's been tough traveling back and forth, and them not being able to see all the great things we have here. But no, it's been great. I know it's just nice to go home and see them every night and have dinner with them and talk to them once a day. And it'll be nice once the games get going, and hopefully they can be around the team a little bit more as soon as everything settles down. But it's been fantastic, and it's just nice to see them at the end of the night every night.
One of the things that obviously, being that they were still living in Minnesota, one of the things that you missed out on was watching your oldest son, Willie, play hockey. Mm-hmm. How excited are you now, whether it's just going to the rink and watching him practice or going to the rink before a game on a Saturday or a Friday and watching him play? How excited are you that you're now able to do that more?
Yeah, I think that's huge, and we spend all summer together working on stuff, and then I kind of miss out on some of those things as games, and I understand my job's going to be kind of difficult to watch him all, so I got to soak up as much of his hockey as I can. I love watching him play. It's kind of one of the best parts of being a parent is seeing him, and he loves playing hockey. So I'm excited to see, like I've always kind of preached to the people back home, like the program they run here at the Minot Boosters is phenomenal. So I'm excited to see him out there, and the development that they do, all the stuff on and off the ice is fantastic. And he's been here for 2 weeks, and he's got a handful of buddies. So I'm excited to see him grow with those kids as well. So it's been great, and I'm excited to be able to, I wish it was a little different where he could be around the guys a little bit better. But with everything going on, we try to keep him at distance. But no, it's just fun to see him go around and have the guys see him go play too. I know he loves that, and to be closer to the community.
Not to really have you speak fully for him, but how excited is Willie? He's moving to this new hockey program as well as moving into a new school. So how excited is Willie specifically?
He's, he's resilient like the rest of the kids. For the last 3 years, bouncing back and forth, and he's always super excited to come out to Minot. Whether it's a 7-hour car ride overnight or a 9-hour train ride, he does it to come out here and be in Minot and be with the guys. But yeah, he's got a handful of buddies back home. He's got a whole life there, a school, a hockey team, and he's been thrilled to get out here to Minot and be a part of everything. He loves what it is here, and I know that, it's the last couple of weeks of summer, that's all I could talk about. Is getting out here and being around the guys and being at the rink. So I'm glad he was able to enjoy that.
Helen Zahn, a.k.a. Nana, checking in now saying, good luck, Coach, with your team. So Nana's wishing you luck this year.
Thank you.
Ken Benjamin says, hey, Coach Wagner, Alex Themes here. I do apologize if I mispronounced that. Checking in from St. Paul, Minnesota. So a couple people checking in saying hi to you.
Alex Temis. That's his
Temis, okay.
Temis,
I do apologize,
fantastic
Alex.
Little guy, yep.
One last subject that we're going to cover here on Tauros Weekly, the preseason schedule. Coming up here really quick, playing 2 games against Aberdeen, one of them this weekend in Aberdeen, and then one of them on September 26th here in Minot. And then we go to Watford City and play 2 against Bismarck. It's kind of different from years past. Usually you have a Canadian team or two. Real quick, Ryan Peterson checking in. He says, hey, Wags, it's Petey. How many cookies have you had? I'm sorry, Petey, that just threw me off. So I had to throw that one in there. Well, how many cookies have you had?
Maybe 1.
You
or
sure?
So, yeah.
You sure? All right.
Yeah. Pete had a lot.
Yeah. Okay, just blame me. I'm the new guy still in the office, so that's all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so usually the Tauros play 1 or 2, usually Bismarck 1 game, and then a couple of Canadian teams. How different is that going to be in planning for the preseason, considering you're going to be playing 2 of the main teams that you're going to be playing late in the season, pushing for the playoffs?
Yeah, I would say the biggest difference is usually training camps are around 2 weeks long, and we kind of hit it. Some years past, we had Fargo come down for an exhibition. Estevan and all those, and now we're going down to Aberdeen, and to be honest, I think it's good heading down there. I think we'll bring a lot of guys that maybe haven't played in a Central Division barn like that before, and it's a hostile environment, and guys got to see what it's about to play in our division. We've always said this is a tough division to play in, so I think it's going to be good. The expectation, and we got to see if they can play with those guys. And some guys do well, and some guys might, and some guys really raise the occasion. So I think that's going to be huge coming down. Going to Watford and playing 2 against Bismarck, that's a heavy team, and we'll get to see guys back to back there. I think it's going to help us in the long run because we'll see if they can keep up with it and play that tough physical game.
Any expectations that we should let the fans know of, or players to look for?
I don't know. I think my expectations are still waiting to be met here too, so I'm still trying to figure out. But no, there's some really good players that I've been extremely pleased with, and I think once come next Saturday, I think a lot of eyes will be open to like a few of these guys, especially giving them 2 weeks under the on the ice. But I've been really pleased with the players that we've had and the players that I've expected to be good or be. Players, they've really rose to the occasion, and a few that were coming in here are really challenging situation, making a lot of tough decisions. So, one last question for you. With everything COVID that's been going on, Kevin Melby, the athletic trainer, has been stepping up a lot, and he's been doing a lot. And I didn't have this in the questions that I wrote, but I feel like it's definitely important that we give him a shout out and give him some. Not recommendation. I can't think of the word now.
Recognition.
Thank you. Recognition. Thank you, Sean. And what he's been doing, whether it's just taking temperatures from the guys, coordinating what the CDC and Trinity and the league and Mr. Porter and all that have been kind of doing. Just touch on that real quick about what you've been seeing and what all he's been able to accomplish.
No, in my years of college and pro hockey, I've never seen a trainer like Kevin. He's by far the best trainer. And I think we met with the guys on Monday, and the new guys, I was telling them, like, he's the best in the game. I look back to the Robertson Cup run that we had a couple years ago, and we had a couple guys that I don't know if they could have made it or could have played without Kevin. Guys that were seriously banged up, and he got them going. He's honest, he's thorough, and he does a hell of a job, and he's good with the guys. And now, geez, his plate is full. He's there before the guys get there. He's checking temperatures. He's checking the daily screening. And we can only have so many guys in that training room, so now he's got to work even longer and more, and it's just tough, with all the stipulations. But he rises to the occasion, and he's going to do it. He cares about the team, and he's going to help us be the best team that we can be. And I think for what he does, he doesn't get enough recognition for it. But he's definitely by far the best and the best guy I've ever had, and I think he's by far, I don't know many of the other trainers, but I'd say hands down the best trainer in the league.
Shane, thanks for coming on the show. Best of luck this year. I know I'm going to be traveling on the road more, so we're going to be getting to see. Yeah. So, like I said, thank you for coming on the show, and I imagine we'll have you on kind of halfway through the year to kind of give a mid-season evaluation on everything.
Yeah,
so
hopefully I'll be here.
Yeah. Fans, that's Tauros head coach Shane Wagner. Just a reminder that Dash is closing. It's the final week of the Tauros Signature Summer. You can head over to the dashapp.io or just head over to minotauroshockey.com and look for the little icon on the side of the page. 2 days remaining, lots of jerseys, pucks, signed gloves, a couple of signed team signed sticks, team signed gloves, a lot of great stuff left from the Dash auctions from this summer, so make sure you head over to that. Once again, as we talked about, September 26th, the Tauros alumni charity game, the Checking for Charity event, will be happening at the Mesa Arena. It'll be a game between Tauros alum. I don't have the roster in front of me. That would have been Ken Oda's job, so just throw him kind of under the bus a little bit there. But that is going on September 26th, with 30 minutes after that game will be the Tauros versus the Aberdeen Wings. Tickets for that game are $12. $12 will get you in for both of those games. Tickets can be purchased on the Tauros website, so head over there. That link is live. What else am I forgetting, Shane? Anything? I think that's it.
You nailed it.
All right, fans, that's going to do it for another episode here on Tauros Weekly. For Sean Bachhoven, our guest Shane Wagner, and I'm Peter Theodos. We'll see you next week.